you are. This is Lee, aka Speech Whisperer, on the game of tongues, where we work on speech anxiety in all its forms and we beat it to a pulp. And right now, I'm thrilled to have with me Zhenhua Johnson Sun, who is from China. And very briefly, Zhenhua was one of the first people who came to me in 2016 after I published my first edition, and asked for help. And we worked together. And when we in early 2017, I decided to form Speech Anxiety Anonymous, a charity to help people who stutter and who have speech anxiety cure themselves by putting together a team of people who had done exactly that, beginning with myself and others who had uh, stopped stuttering as a result of my book and Skyping with me. And they included Johnson's son. He uses that name to be more comfortable for we Westerners who have trouble pronouncing Chinese words. Anyway, Johnson is a guy who went to New York to get a master's degree in engineering, and when he stuttered all his life badly, and in Chinese, but in English it was even worse. And when he got to the United States, he found that he couldn't speak at all. And he went to a hospital, emergency room hospital, and wrote, "I cannot talk, help me." And they referred him to a speech therapist, and he had some 2 years of speech therapy, and it didn't provide anywhere near the relief. So he found my book and he contacted me. And when he first contacted me, he was stuttering on virtually every word and making some terrible faces when things when he was talking. So we got to work on this thing, and in a matter of a few months, he beat it. And it was just a miraculous thing. And I can remember him telling me when he was speaking to his parents in the early going, they were crying because they had never really heard him speak. And it was a wonderful thing. Well, in any event, he completed his engineering degree in New York, and he returned to Shanghai. And that was some months ago. And it has now been 2 years since he posted his success story on Speech Anxiety Anonymous. And so, and I consider him a friend, and I'm one of his fans. He beat a monster speech problem. I'm very proud of him. And he's back in Shanghai, and he's doing a lot of good things. He has a good job. He's starting his own company, and he's busy as a one-armed paper hanger. And and he also, I should say to you, that as a labor of love, basically, he translated my second edition into Chinese. And as of a few moments ago, he volunteered to translate my third edition, which will be up on Amazon, for all 550 pages of it, in a matter of a few weeks. So it's with great pleasure I welcome Johnson's son with open arms and ask him to just give us a little bit of an update as to where his speech is now and anything else that he would like to say to the stutterers in the world. Johnson?
Okay, hello Lee, hello everybody. And it has been 2 years, yes. And since Lee cured my problem, and since then, actually, I can see that I almost became a new person, and I love to talk with anybody that I can. I enjoyed to talk with others, and now I worked in China in an American company, and I work as their project engineer now, and I would like to say that these methods helped me and is helping me every day. Sometimes, when I'm very busy, I can feel that I have many things to deal with every day. And at that day, if I was very busy, and I can feel my speech was not as good as I should. So I did some. I would every time I would do some self hypnosis and to conquer the unfairness. After several days, I can feel that I go back to the true me again. So I would like to say that Lee helped me, and his method works, and I couldn't see more yes thanks to him.
So you stopped stuttering over 2 years ago. You have not started again. And in terms of how many per hour you think about your speech, I know that when you met me, you were thinking about your speech like 59 minutes out of the hour. And now, how much time do you spend in the average hour thinking negatively about your speech?
And I would like to see that I almost never think about my problem anymore. And but sometimes fairness pops up automatically. When it happens, I need to fight with it. So I always use self hypnosis to do it, and it works every time.
I want to also say to anyone who listens to this that self hypnosis was the first thing that I did, as I explained in my book, that helped me big time. And Johnson, I taught myself self hypnosis based on Melvin Powers' book, which I referred to in my book repeatedly. It's a very short book, and it's a very good book. He wasn't a doctor, but he taught thousands of people how to hypnotize themselves. And I learned it from this book, and Johnson learned it from this book as well. I have other people. Johnson may not know this, but Speech Anxiety Anonymous has added to its advisory board Rob Lunan, who is a certified hypnotist, and he offers his services free, as I do, to PWS as much as he can do it, to help teach them, to hypnotize them, and help them learn self hypnosis. So that's a new advantage that Johnson did not have and that I didn't have. Johnson and I learned it on our own, but now we have a method in Speech Anxiety Anonymous where we have a certified hypnotist who will help train people to do that, and it's extremely
Wow.
helpful. It's extremely helpful. But Johnson, I want to say to you that I've learned one of the things that I've learned is that the and from coaching, you may find this interesting. I now do a poll with people, and I've dealt with so many people, and we've got 53 people success stories posted on SAA. Probably another 50 who wouldn't post or disappeared, or I never thought to ask them, or I forgot. I can't chase people. I'm not, my business is not building statistics, it's helping people. That's my business. So we post what we can. But in any event, I've learned when I poll people, is you find this interesting. 30% of the people say the most helpful thing to them in beating stuttering and stopping stuttering was reading aloud.
Okay.
30% of them say it's self hypnosis, and 40% of them say it's the crutches. So it's an almost even split, and it's like, you may like blue shirts, and I may like red shirts or whatever. It's who knows, but so we're all a little bit different. We're the same, but we're a little bit different, and so all the methods work, and I happen to believe that enough reading aloud, if you don't talk and stutter during the day, you will eventually stop stuttering. I think enough self hypnosis and you will eventually stop stuttering. I think enough good crutches, provided well, you don't allow yourself to, I call it stepping off stutterer's cliff now. That's a new term I use. When people start stuttering, I say it's your choice. You're stepping off the cliff. You're choosing to do that. So that I think the crutches are you can beat it with that alone. But the combination of the 1, 2, 3 punch of reading aloud, self-hypnosis or auto-suggestion treatments, and the crutches makes a devastating 1, 2, 3 punch. That's why we're beating this thing. Is there anything else in closing you'd want to say to the stutterers of the world?
Yes, I want to see that the yes, we Lee has already found many ways to beat our speech problems, but the most important thing is that we should believe we can beat it. Firstly, we should believe we can beat it, and I would like to say that if I can enjoy talk to other people, you can. That's the very sentence I would like to share with everybody.
Well, thanks for saying that. And I will echo Johnson's sentiment and say that remembering back when I first met him and his level of stuttering and grimacing and so forth. It's been an enormous metamorphosis. It's a huge triumph. I didn't heal Johnson, Zenhua Johnson's son. He healed himself. I simply said, these are the methods that work for me. And Johnson is a workaholic. And he will burn it out. He will find a way to be a winner. And he is a winner. And I'm glad to be his friend, and I'm his fan. And I'm going to end this video right here by just saying, thank you, Johnson. Don't go away. I'm going to terminate this
Thank you,
video.
Lee. Thank you.
And it's a pleasure having Johnson. Best luck. Thanks so much.